antisocial network.
Yeah. Mask up, stay 6 feet apart.
Yeah, right.
Hello, and welcome to YUH with Lisa, Phil, and Aaron once again. Excuse me, my phone went off right there. Talk about the enthroned. This week we're talking to Sam Edelston, who is a dulcimer player. Now, is that what you do for a profession, or is it something you love and you have another profession? And the other thing that I wanted to get in here is I actually came this close to taking dulcimer classes in 2020.
Awesome.
Guess why I didn't do it?
Well, first of all, thank you guys for having me on the show here. It's a pleasure to meet you all. And answer your first question, both. I was in a family business for, depending on how you count that, anywhere between 40 and 50 years as part of the family. And we sold the company 4 years ago. And I got my wife's permission to go full-time with music.
Nice.
And I've got this crazy mission about this musical instrument, the dulcimer, the fretted dulcimer, mountain dulcimer, Appalachian dulcimer, that I believe that they deserve to be as well known as guitars and banjos and ukuleles and pianos. And you guys are around Cincinnati, so you're not that far from like Kentucky and dulcimer country. And you may be aware that,
They're about 10 to 15 minutes from Kentucky. Yeah.
I've performed right across the river and taught right across the river at a big music week not far from you guys. And
you're going to be here in December. Where would that be? Do you know?
So I'll be in October.
October.
I've got the exact.
My birthday.
Hey, yeah. Well, that whole oct is 8, and yet it's the 10th month, and Des is 10, and it's the 12th month. So I do that all the time too. But October 25th, I'm going to be teaching a day of workshops outside of Cincinnati, and I don't think I've got the address handy.
Well, look it up. It's in Sharonville. I think I probably pass it all the time, and I don't realize it.
Yeah.
Probably by the Blue Goose.
Is that where the Dulcimer Museum is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we're getting we've got a bunch of great threads going on here. And I've got to relocate the right.
Who's going to lean back and listen now?
Yeah. Okay. Now I need to find the window. Oh, that's the window you guys are in. Okay.
Well, while you're doing that, let me play this little intro video I prepared. I took some video from your YouTube. I hope you don't mind, but it's mostly of you performing live, and I thought it would be a good way to set the tone here.
Okay. So
we ride with engines of glory, suicide machines. Smooth cages on the highway 9 road, with the fuel injected and stepping out for the light. Oh, man, this town rips the bolts from your back at the death trap. Yeah, it's a suicide trap with every girl. Us trans like us, baby,
All right.
Oh, guys have
awesome.
great taste.
Yeah.
I love that you bring something that's like considered from the past and make it more contemporary.
That is the whole point.
Mhm.
So I have to explain. I started out in my musical life, other than 5 years of totally unexceptional piano lessons, I started out as a fingerstyle guitarist with 6 strings and playing the melody and playing chords and playing a bass line all at the same time, like a fingerstyle guitarist does. And I got exposed to folk music and various folk instruments in high school, and probably saw my first mountain dulcimer in high school at a folk festival. In fact, I even remember which one and who the performer was, and really had the idea that you've only got 3 strings on a dulcimer. How can you possibly do anything interesting with that? And that was my prejudice.
Challenge.
That was my prejudice for 30 years.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
no, challenge rejected.
Uh-huh.
Challenge totally not interested.
Yes, but you did conquer that challenge, obviously.
Yeah, but
Eventually,
only after
after 30
dragged to
years.
kicking and screaming.
Mm.
So there's a long chain of events, and we only have an hour, so I'll just say there's a completely unrelated musical instrument called a hammered dulcimer.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the mountain dulcimer, fretted dulcimer, is a sort of a disfigured cousin of the guitar. The hammered dulcimer is sort of a low-tech cousin of the piano. So 3 strings versus, in my case, 95 strings. The piano is like the inside of the piano, but the hammered dulcimer is like the inside of the piano, but you play with little pencil-sized drumsticks. I got hooked on that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And
I was going to ask if you played the hammered dulcimer.
Yeah. And I was a hammered dulcimer groupie for about a dozen years. And then I went and bought one. And then I played hammered dulcimer for about a dozen years and ignored the mountain dulcimer players. And then one day, chain of events again, I'll skip the long story, but we decided to start a dulcimer festival, a new dulcimer festival in Connecticut, to replace the one that was going out of business. And I got made the chair of it. And that was 2004. And I realized I'd better get acquainted with the other side of the family.
Mm-hmm.
So at a dulcimer festival, I bought a mountain dulcimer and I sat down and played it. And within about an hour and a half, I stumbled upon, I know that this is going to be an oldie but goodie for you guys, Donovan's song from the 60s, Mellow Yellow.
Oh, yeah.
And again, I've got to get a different visual aid on my
Electrical banana.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe Aaron can do the vocals while you do it.
I don't know all the words.
That's not going to work because
My middle son's middle name is Donovan, though.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, you really like that song, Aaron?
Mhm.
Name your kid after him.
Absolutely. So, by the way, this is a fretted dulcimer. For those who are dulcimer aficionados, I do have a couple more frets than the typical one does.
Okay.
That's part of its superpowers.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna just quickly do a real quick talk through with the, I won't switch cameras for this, but later on when I do a real song for real, I'll show the dulcimer cam. But basically, this is when I'm playing the dulcimer for about an hour and a half, so I'm total newbie at it. And Mellow Yellow just has this nice steady 1, 2, 3, 4 beat, but it's also got a melody. And if you were keeping score real carefully, you notice that there were a couple of notes in that melody that fell in between the beats. And I'm just using one dopey little flat pick here. So I'm playing the rhythm and the melody. I'm doing the rhythm and the melody both with one flat pick at the same time, and I'd only been playing for an hour and a half.
Interesting.
Like, wow, that's kind of surprising.
So it's almost like the limitations of the instrument bringing out your creativity. Like you're having to adapt to the limitation, the three strings.
So what I discovered is that limitation in this case is really a relative term, because it's only a limitation from a guitarist's perspective. As a guitarist, I want 6 strings because I want to be able to play 2 voices or 3 voices. If you look at it from a different perspective, from the dulcimer perspective, which I was only just figuring out, just what is this thing on my lap? What are its attributes? What is it capable of doing? Divorce it from the tradition. Now, dulcimers have a long, beautiful tradition, which comes from folk music, comes from the folk, and I don't have any disrespect whatsoever for that, but my music is not their music. And when I looked at what can this do, I came to realize that having only 3 strings can be a strength instead of a handicap. Having only 3 strings, I mean, a guitar has 6 strings. You have 5 fingers, you're outnumbered. In fact, you can only fret a guitar with 4 fingers because the other finger's holding your hand in place. A dulcimer, now I'd better go to the dulcimer cam. So hang on just 1 second. So a dulcimer has 3 strings, and I have 5 fingers, and I can use all 5 fingers. I can use all 5 fingers to fret the strings. So 5 fingers, 3 strings, that's a really nice student-faculty ratio.
Yeah. I
can use that to play one chord and set up the next chord, to play ornaments. I can use that for all sorts of things. Now, I don't know to what extent you guys are musicians, instrumentalists or anything.
Not at all.
Yeah. Good listeners.
Connoisseurs.
I like the Vince Guaraldi trio bit you were just doing there, the Linus and Lucy.
I actually have a friend who recorded that song on a dulcimer.
Oh, cool.
And I've never sat down and learned it, but it's not. It wouldn't be that terribly difficult. And the other thing is that with only 3 strings, so I had always assumed you have to just strum straight across. But you can slant your strum. So if you think of the 3 strings as being a plane, a horizontal plane, you can strum on a diagonal to emphasize the high string, or you can strum the other way. So that time I emphasized the bass string so you could barely hear the melody sticking out. Yeah. So I can take advantage of that. I can selectively strum just the high string, which is what I was doing on Mellow Yellow a minute ago. So it gives me incredible capabilities. So there are songs that I'll play 3 voices on at the same time because of being able to play different strings selectively, because of being able to
using 5 fingers,
5 strings, or play fills in between the melody line. Pardon the use of the other word fill there. So it turns out that having only 3 strings is actually a superpower. And so the next song I learned a few minutes after Mellow Yellow, I was going a little more, and I figured out Bang a Gong by T-Rex, which was like 1971 or 72. It was on American Top 40 when I discovered American Top 40.
Love T-Rex.
And
Electric
and that song has a backbeat, and it has a melody, and it has these cool little fills. And so I was playing 3 voices at once, and I had only been playing the dulcimer for under 2 hours. And it's like bolt of lightning, zap, wow, hey, I like green eggs and ham. I will play them in a box.
And-
I'll play them with a
and
box,
Sam, you
I'll play
am.
them here and there, and I'll play them anywhere. And so it became this mission of mine. I became an evangelist for the instrument, sort of as a penance for having, dissed it for
Rejected
30
it.
years.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So you kind of unlocked its power and its
Yes,
simplicity.
I unleashed it.
Yeah.
Now, you're saying how simple it is to play. What if you're tone deaf and left-handed?
So first of all, I think that the fretting hand on any instrument, guitar, dulcimer, I think the fretting hand has the more challenging job. So I think left-handed actually, you've got an advantage on that. They do make left-handed dulcimers. All you have to do is change the sizes of the grooves at both ends of the strings. And if you're tone deaf, that doesn't matter. Can you read numbers?
Yes.
Okay, because I could say, frets have numbers, whether it's on a dulcimer or on a guitar. I'm going to switch to the dulcimer cam again here. I didn't expect to be getting so into music stuff. So first of all, I need to just briefly mention that if you're counting the frets here on this dulcimer, I'll stand up so it's a little bit closer. You're going to say this is the first fret and the second fret and the third fret and the fourth fret and the fifth fret as if we were on a guitar. But traditionally, dulcimers didn't have all the notes on the piano. They didn't have the black keys. And so you had the traditional dulcimer fretboard would be do, skip this one. We're going to skip this one and this one here for the moment. So it's going to be do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. And actually, it would have flat T, do. And there's reasons behind why you don't need to know that, because I assume this is not a podcast for dulcimer players. I assume this is for people.
Our listeners.
Yeah, our listeners are varied.
Yep. So this is called, this second fret on the fretboard is actually called the first fret, and this one here is called the 0.5 fret. So it's 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 3. This dulcimer has no 3.5, but it has a 4. It has no 4.5, but it has a 5, 6, 6.5, 7. So I didn't bring the total simple basic traditional dulcimer where everything is an integer and it sounds sensible. But basically, if I put a standard dulcimer in your lap and said, play Mary Had a Little Lamb, first of all, I'd say start at the second fret and you might be able to figure it out from there. Many people can figure out. And for those that don't, that don't have the musical experience to think higher, lower notes, I can also say 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 2, 2. And the thing about a dulcimer is that most of the common tunings, you've got one high string on top that's usually used for a melody. And I say usually, it very definitely isn't always. And then the other two strings, in many cases, like in traditional styles, are played as drones. So it's sort of like a stringed bagpipe. In fact, the earliest mountain dulcimers didn't have frets under the other strings. It's descended from some European instruments that only have frets under the, quote, melody string. Yeah. So if I said play Mary Had a Little Lamb, it would be 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 4, 4, and you'd be able to even add a little bit more strumming to it. And it would start sounding like an Appalachian fiddle tune.
And fascinating. I played a guitar. I messed around. I got a guitar, and I messed around with it a little bit. And on the fret, the biggest challenge, I think, and Aaron, somebody told Aaron, I think Itzhak told Aaron that he didn't have the fingers to play fretboard.
He spent about 2 hours with me. He said, "Man, it's hopeless. You'll never play guitar." But the problem is, I believed him.
Yeah.
So the thing is, though, but with this thing, it looks like you can look down on it while you're playing. It seems like it might be easier to get, the the chord progressions and stuff. It might be a little bit easier to do that on the dulcimer than you being a guitar player and a dulcimer player.
So here are a couple of perspectives. First of all, if I'm playing a guitar and I'm going to put my index finger on the nut here, just for the nut is this thing, the 0 fret, and my pinky will reach over to what I call the 2nd fret. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4th half step. Okay, and that's as far as I can reach on a guitar. On a dulcimer, I can reach nearly a full whole step beyond that. Mm-hmm. And so I can reach with my thumb very far. I can also take chords, I can slide them up and down. A lot of Joni Mitchell is she a lot of what she
got a lot of weird tunings.
Well, yeah, she's doing a weird tuning, but there's usually 2 notes that are sliding back and forth in harmony. And then the other string, or I forget whether she plays 3 or 4 strings. No, she plays 3, but the other string is usually being a drone.
Okay. Yeah, this is.
Now, what do you mean by drone?
Think of a bagpipe. So a bagpipe has one flute, basically. It's got one pipe that has a bunch of holes in it, and the player holds it down here and moves his fingers over the holes, and depending on what fingers he opens up or closes, you get different higher or lower notes. Same thing with a flute or a clarinet or any of those other straight blow into them instruments, recorders, penny whistles, any of that stuff. And then the other pipes that come out of a bagpipe, on like a Scottish Highland pipe, they're all just in unison or in octaves. So. And so I was only moving the middle string there, and I had a low D and a high D that were just droning against it. So they don't change their notes.
Cool.
And
it's a drone. That doesn't change the notes.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
So here,
it's kind of like
I remember in the
drones
90s.
but it's not really droning. It's just the idea.
well, you think of a drone of a helicopter or the drone of a lawnmower.
Right.
Or the drone of a hive of bees chasing after somebody. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cover 2 strings, and the bass string is my drone. Or I can do the high string as my drone. And so the high string is ringing out. And interestingly, you can even make the drone sound okay against notes that shouldn't be in the chord. So when you listen to old time fiddle tunes or old time songs played on a dulcimer, you'll hear some interesting droning effects where you get sort of a tension note against the melody. This is, when I say a tension note, it's a note that isn't as smooth. It's not part of the chord. So this chord is unstable. It's radioactive. It wants to resolve. So in American Pie, so this is radioactive. That's stable. This is radioactive. This is stable.
Wow.
Okay.
This is quite the technical lesson here, but I'm like,
I'm liking it.
I'm like, I almost want to pick one up and mess with it now.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in Cincinnati in October.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am plotting.
It's making me think about the band, the Presidents of the United States of America from the 90s.
Oh yeah, I had
Yeah.
that.
The song Peaches. They had I think it was a 2-string git bass and a 3-string bass guitar is what they called it.
Yeah, that band was quirky.
Yeah, but they were hip to the fewer strings.
Yeah.
Can you sing a line of that song?
Moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches.
Okay. I have heard that song. So one of
And it was
my-
definitely a drone too.
Interesting.
I haven't heard their version of it. I listen to a lot of acapella.
Yeah, it's a folk song.
I listen to a lot of acapella. College acapella has done some incredible things over the past 35 years. or
Oh
so.
yeah.
And like ever since the introduction of vocal percussion and stuff like that, if you think of the movie Pitch Perfect, and
Love
the stuff,
all of them.
the stuff that they do in there is just
Amazing.
so cool. And I've got that song on a college acapella record or CD, and I never knew where it came from. But quite a few of the songs that I play, I first learned off acapella albums.
It was a 90s alternative song from
But it's
that.
adapted from a folk song. Didn't you say that?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
I
A
know.
lot of folk songs probably go back centuries, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's like
they play it with a 2-string guitar and a 3-string guitar. All their songs.
Yeah, they were an interesting group. I did have that album though. Back in the
Cigar box
alternative
guitars.
days.
Yeah, cigar box guitars usually have 3 or 4 strings.
Yeah. There's another Split Lip Rayfield plays it's a gas tank from a car stringed with like 3 strings.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the bass.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting. That would be a bass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now instead
That would
of
be depth.
instead of octaves on that bass, does he have octanes?
I imagine he does.
Does he add and remove gas to adjust the sound?
Yeah, it's
Because I can see how that would work.
just a
Well, didn't
big
that-
empty thing from the bottom of a car.
That would
movie.
work.
Yeah, how does he get the car on stage? No, just kidding.
It might get loud. Didn't Jack
It's easy to
create a
drive it.
guitar
Put
out
it
of
in-
like a broomstick and like some kind of like a 3-string
That's right.
guitar?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Sam.
I've got a friend who won the National Mountain Dulcimer Championship a few years ago, playing a dulcimer that he made at home, and the sides and back were corrugated cardboard, and the top was styrofoam.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
He made it himself for $8. He cut the slots for the frets himself and
Yeah.
put the frets in.
I can see that. I mean, styrofoam has a certain sound to it. Have you ever just flicked it or or even when you're breaking it and stuff, it's like it's got a
Yeah,
unique-
it's got a sound.
yeah.
Well,
Right.
it's like what they say in Top Gun Maverick. It's not the plane, it's the pilot, and the guy happens to be an awesome player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That challenging himself, I guess, taking ordinary objects and turning it into music. That's
Yeah.
probably something that a true musician would enjoy,
Yeah,
Well-
another thing in It Might Get Loud was Jack White talking about he was still playing his childhood guitar.
Oh yeah, he bought it.
The first guitar he ever got, at Walmart. And he
Yeah.
would still play it, but every time he played it, his fingers would bleed.
Hmm.
So that's devotion.
Yes.
A little bit nuts too, but devotion.
Yes. Well,
So
the
you get
first
those
time I
balances.
played an electric dulcimer, my finger bled.
Yeah. Did you like the electric dulcimer or do you prefer the acoustic?
Now that's a really interesting question. So I had been playing acoustic guitar and got into acoustic dulcimer, and never really occurred to me to try anything electric. And we had at the Nutmeg Dulcimer Festival, which is the festival in Connecticut that I'm the chair of, and we are now in our 22nd year. That's coming up in October too.
What city is that in?
It's in Milford, Connecticut. So if you think of Connecticut as a rectangle, think of it as like
It's
an
easy to
index.
do.
Okay, so here's Connecticut, And along the south coast, about the midpoint is New Haven. And a little bit to the left of that is Milford, Connecticut.
Mhm.
And it's like right off of I-95. It's close to a couple of other major highways. And it's like 2 blocks from a Metro North train station, really convenient for people to get to. And we bring in just a great program of featured artists and other instructors. Dulcimer festivals are all about teaching as well as performing. So it's like your doctor goes to medical conventions, your lawyer goes to legal conferences. I used to go to direct marketing conventions and stuff like that. So dulcimer players go to dulcimer festivals, and
It's
one
like
year.
when Dylan went electric. Right?
So one year, one of our featured artists was Robert Force. Robert Force is this guy who had been sort of a hippie back in the early 70s, maybe the late 60s, and dulcimer player. And he and a partner would play twin mountain dulcimers, and they eked out some level of a living from it, I gather, and really became iconic in the dulcimer world. And so I had Robert as one of our featured artists our 3rd year at the festival. And the following year, he lives on the West Coast. The following year, he was willing to come back just to teach some classes because he had a relative not too far away. So it's like, hey, I'll combine this with a family visit. And he said, hey, Sam, while I'm there, would it be okay if I bring a prototype electric dulcimer and have you try it out? And I had never thought about playing an electric dulcimer or really given serious thought to electric guitar. And he brought it, and he brought a little pig nose amp or something of that sort. And it played like butter. It was just
did work for you.
such smooth action, and it felt so nice and so right.
And then all the chicks started flooding towards the front of the stage, right?
Throwing their hemp underwear.
Yeah.
Excuse me, say it again.
Throwing their hemp underwear at the stage.
Oh, no. So this actually happened just like at the end of the festival. We're sitting at a table and just talking, and he pulled it out to show me, and I tried it out a little bit. So it wasn't played from the stage, and I didn't play it on the stage, but it was so cool. And this was a prototype, as I said. I gave him a couple of suggestions about the placement of the controls and things. Yeah, knobs were not in the best place for most players, and I said, you know what? When the builder goes into production, I want one too.
No doubt.
I was building a limited run of, it turned out to be 9 dulcimers, and Robert got number 1, and I got number 2.
Oh, cool.
Wow. So you still got that?
2 of 9.
Well, I got another one, which is number 7 or 8. Because the first one I got had frets like this with a couple of teeth missing. And so the second one I got from this builder was fully chromatic. So it's got all the black keys on the piano.
Oh, nice.
It's like nobody would play a piano that was missing, C sharp and D sharp and G sharp and A sharp. You wouldn't play a piano whose only key was F sharp.
Right.
So
not
the
interestingly anyway.
Yeah, well, the folk music came out of a beautiful sort of folk tradition, and it's I'm going to use a technical music theory term, modal tradition. So basically a mode is just a particular set of notes starting on a particular, like if you play the white keys on a piano starting with C, you get a different scale from if you play the white keys on the piano starting with D or F. And so
never mind. I saw a video.
Is that like pentatonic versus?
So pentatonic is related to modes, but it's a little bit different. So pentatonic scale is a subset. If there are 7 different letters in a scale, do, because it's do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Notice the do repeated, so it's 8 notes, but there are really only 7 different tones, and then you have octaves of them. And you didn't expect to go into music theory. And I'm talking about all the stuff in order to really say that it's simple. So
Well, I saw a video that you did where you took a song that was in a certain key and you demonstrated how it couldn't be performed in that key on the dulcimer, but then you adapted it by putting it in a different key to kind of empower the dulcimer to go ahead and play the song.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I think the example I was talking about there was Wild Thing. If you're talking about the video I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that was it.
So I've got this CD that I put out about a year ago, and it's almost entirely classic rock and classic pop songs played by a rock band, recorded in the studio with the dulcimer as the featured instrument. And the rule was that the dulcimer had to be clearly audible. The dulcimer is the star of the album. Sam is not the star of the album. And one of the songs every song is on the album for a reason. And
Making Waves, right?
Making Waves is the album. And I do have a copy of it, shrink wrapped, but right at my disposal here.
Nice.
I'll put that a little closer.
I get one of those.
Yeah.
I'll put that in the notes where people can go out and buy one of those.
Okay, you betcha. Easiest place to find it, you go to my website, which is easy to spell. And that is samthemusicman.com. Everybody can spell Sam the Music Man. Nobody can spell Edelston.
No.
I don't count on people being able to spell.
I would have put 2 D's in there.
Get extra letters. Yeah.
There's an introductory song, and then the first thing after that is Wild Horses by the Rolling Stones.
Nice.
And because there's this myth that you can only play the dulcimer in one key for a given tuning, I play that song in 3 different keys.
Nice. Well, are you able to demonstrate?
Sure, why not? This wasn't the song I was originally planning to, but it's certainly one that's at my fingertips.
Great song.
Yeah. Now, you may or may not know the Rolling Stones actually used dulcimers on a couple of songs that they recorded.
I'm not surprised. I bet Brian Jones was all over it.
Yes, indeed. So I was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame at the other end of Ohio, Cleveland, and they had a big, 20-foot Rolling Stones exhibit, and it was the outfit that Mick wore on the 1967 tour, and the sticks that Charlie used on such and such a song, and the program and poster from another show, and guitars and more stage outfits. And the very last thing in this 20-foot long display was the dulcimer that Brian Jones used to record Lady Jane and other songs.
Wow.
Hang on, I'm going to take a quick stiff drink here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep
Sam hydrated.
Absolutely. But the dulcimer part of Lady Jane is kind of not very exciting. So that's not the Rolling Stones song I put on the album. I have played probably 20 different Stones songs, and every one of them works on a dulcimer, and only one of them requires a fully chromatic one. So every other Stones song can be played, that I've tried, can be played on this dulcimer. But the one I'm going to play for you is Wild Horses.
Okay. Nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Ironically, I just saw a movie, Wild Horses, the other night.
Oh, cool.
So
Great
sticky
time.
fingers, we should roll right into Can't You Hear Me Knocking?
Isn't that a law?
Did you notice the key changes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Not really.
Well,
But
Lisa
I'm
is,
not.
she
I'm not
technically is
music
tone
like
deaf.
they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but 2 out of 3?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
2 out of 3.
But that's on me, not
Yeah,
you.
Lisa is literally tone deaf. I think she's the only
Okay.
person I ever met who is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well,
I've been tested. It's been confirmed.
okay. Even
Well,
tone deaf people can play the dulcimer, by the way.
we got about 15 minutes. I wanted
Cool.
to at least, it's a unique instrument. What is just a little bit of the history of the dulcimer? Is it a American instrument, or does it go back to England or Ireland or something?
Okay, so
Sounds French, the name.
so you're all sort of right. You remember from American history class that during the American Revolution, King George III brought over Hessian mercenaries from Germany.
Yep.
I seem to recall that. Yeah.
Okay. So King George III was the grandson of King George I, who had been brought over to England as a result of a break in the British succession.
Okay.
And so just store that away in the back of your head. There is a German instrument called the Scheitholt, which is sort of like a fretted dulcimer. I guess it has a little bit more than 3 or 4 strings, and the fretboard isn't raised from the body the way that the dulcimer's fretboard is. You can't really see that there. This angle, you can sort of see that it's raised, and so the Scheitholt has frets under just the melody string, and then everything else is drones. There's a French instrument that's similar called the épinette de Vosges. There's a Belgian instrument called the Hummel. There are a couple of other instruments in that part of the world. I was in Iceland a couple of years ago and completely had forgotten about the fact that there is an Icelandic instrument called the Langspiel, which is also related. So basically, once the instrument came to America, at the hands of German immigrants and whether it was the mercenaries or others, it sort of got merged with the culture of the English and Scottish people that had come over from the British Isles.
Mm-hmm.
And they started playing that kind of the UK, the British and Irish music eventually on these things and the old folk ballads, and so there became a tradition of playing Anglo folk music on these instruments that had originated in Northern Europe.
Interesting.
And somewhere along the line, I'm not sure exactly where the frets started more and more being all the way across the fretboard. There is a Dulcimer Museum that's outside of Cincinnati. They're about to move, by the way.
Where to?
Still in the area. I don't have the address at my fingertips.
Maybe that's why they're still.
I did notice that they don't have a website.
No, they do have a website, but they don't list an address. Maybe that's why they don't list an address at the moment. They just
No, but I mean, I couldn't find a website.
No, there is. It's affiliated with. Let's see.
No, well, send me that link.
I want to be sure I get this right. So it's the National Dulcimer Museum is affiliated with like the American Folk Music School.
Okay.
And so that may be where you find it. If you look it up on Facebook, that's the easiest way I've got to find
American Folk Music School.org.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll be teaching 3 classes there on Saturday, October 25th, and then I'll be doing an evening concert that's actually free for the public.
Oh, that's for me then.
That's a new
free,
price
free
range
for me. So
yeah, it's
we talked about possibly
Teach on accomplice too.
Yeah, I'd like to take the class.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. What day of the week is it?
The class is going to be on Saturday, October 25th.
Oh, perfect. I don't even have to take PTO.
October 25th. What's your birthday, Lisa? 23rd?
October 23rd.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there
Well,
are places.
there we are, birthday.
yeah, right.
There are places where
You
you
don't
can
have to think about a present anymore, hon. Believe me, it's a relief.
There's your.
For both of us. He's not the best gift giver.
Well,
I
I'm so
tried
glad
it.
to help
He
both
does.
of you.
He tries.
I throw a lot of money at it. It's always a miss.
I don't know about that, but okay. Yeah, it's genetic. His dad was a horrible gift giver, and he has inherited that. I have actually given him a list. I have picked things in Amazon and put them where he could see them. I have highlighted things. I have gone to the store, pointed at the thing on the shelf.
My wife just buys what she
always
wants.
me something else.
I'm trying to be thoughtful. I don't want to get.
Yeah.
Different people.
I go out there and it's all like cat litter and trash
No,
bags.
you
and
just have to
I can't find the wish list.
You just have to keep rolling.
Well, anyway,
my philosophy was always.
We got about 10 minutes here.
Your philosophy is always what, Sam?
So my philosophy on gifts is I'd love to give people the gift that they would have thought of for themselves if they had only thought about it.
That's what I've tried to do too.
Yeah.
But that
and I have given him gifts that he didn't care for. Like, for instance, I gave him golf lessons once. I did not know that he was philosophically opposed to paying for golf lessons.
I get tired of people telling me what to do. I do that all week long. And now someday I'm going to go out and have a kid, probably 20 years younger than me, tell me how to play golf.
I made sure that it was someone older than you and a man, not a woman, because I know you have trouble being told what to do by a woman.
Oh my!
All right. So this is different. This has become a different podcast altogether. But let's bring it back and let's do our Elite 8 mini bracket, if that's okay with you, Sam.
Okay, sock it to me.
This is classic rock songs that feature the dulcimer to some degree, whether it's the main instrument or even just part of the composition. But first song I think you'll identify is Lady Jane versus Desperado, and I'll let you lead off, Sam.
Okay. As far as I know, who recorded Desperado with the dulcimer?
I should have noted that. The Eagles. Apparently, the original recording, there was a dulcimer in the rendition.
I was never aware of that. I'm going to have to look into that.
Well, either that or AI is out of its mind, which is also.
Phil, don't
as far as I know, they've got 3 guitars in that band.
Yeah.
But I have a YouTube video of Desperado.
Okay.
Got 3,600 views, and you can't see it because the Eagles notoriously don't like other people covering their work on YouTube without paying for the license. I didn't know that. And one day they basically said, "Well," YouTube said, "Well, your video is blocked in one country," and I figured, okay, it's blocked in Rwanda or something. No, it was blocked in the United States.
I guess I'm playing roulette because I get that type of thing quite often, but so far they haven't taken down my account or anything. But or is it safe to assume?
So I'm gonna vote for Desperado because it is a great dulcimer song.
Okay.
Even whether or not they used one on the record.
Okay. I had a tough time finding 8 songs, by the way, but this one did suggest. But then I actually watched a video of the Eagles doing a live performance of Desperado, and there was no dulcimer inside. So anyway, Aaron,
what was the other option from the Eagles?
Lady Desperado
Jane
versus Lady Jane. But
I got to go Stones.
Oh, sorry. Oh, everybody votes on the Elite 8. Okay.
Yeah.
So I vote Stones. So it's tied up right now.
Okay, you go.
I'm going to go Lady Jane because I know for a fact that it was the dulcimer because I saw the Stones perform it with who was their previous Brian
Jones.
Brian Jones.
It looked like he was playing it.
He would have been the one.
No. Sing a little bit of Lady Jane.
My sweet Lady Jane.
My sweet.
I gotta go Desperado.
Yeah.
Okay.
I recognize Lady
So-
Jane just
So that's a
barely.
tie.
We're-
So we got to
yeah.
do rock,
Tie.
paper,
Okay,
scissors.
well,
No.
who's going to be doing it?
Let me
You two.
Okay, you
That
cut.
was
You
a
win,
late scissor, but we'll take it.
Lady Jane.
Okay, Lady Jane.
Yeah, that's kind of a pathetic scissors, son.
Well, no.
Got to
Okay,
work
so
on your scissors.
we got to do rapid fire here. Okay, our second matchup is True Colors, Cyndi Lauper,
Mm-hmm.
versus Bridge Over Troubled Water, Simon and Garfunkel.
Okay, that's got to be Cyndi Lauper. I've played both
Yeah.
songs on the dulcimer,
Okay.
Absolutely, Cyndi Lauper.
but Simon and Garfunkel did not use a dulcimer.
Okay.
No.
Well, okay, Aaron, what do you got?
I was gonna go Simon and Garfunkel, but if they didn't use a dulcimer,
Okay.
then I think I got to go Cyndi Lauper.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's gonna be a
Yeah,
sweep.
we're going to make that a sweep. Do we want to use the broom?
By the way, Simon and Garfunkel's recording of Bridge Over Troubled Water
It
is one of
fell
the
out.
greatest arrangements I've ever heard of any popular song.
Love it. Yeah. Love
Yeah, we have a little tradition when it comes to sweep. We actually sweep. We bought this little broom at Five Below just for this purpose.
Mhm.
So
I was using a regular broom, but I kept out almost hitting Philip.
Phil
Well,
had
I'm
to
starting
talk.
to doubt the veracity of my
Research?
list here,
Yeah.
as Sam keeps pointing out that dulcimer is not an original instrument. But here, I have a feeling that Free Fallin' with Tom Petty was not originally using the dulcimer, versus Blowing in the Wind by Bob Dylan.
Well, I'm gonna go with Blowing in the Wind. Neither of them. Well, I don't know whether Tom Petty uses a dulcimer on anything,
Can't see.
but Blowing in the Wind is a great song on the dulcimer.
Okay.
And my dulcimer friend Kevin Roth is really good friends. Was really good friends with Peter, Paul, and Mary.
I saw Peter, Paul, and Mary. I love Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Yeah, well, Kevin Roth performed on stage with Peter, Paul, and Mary. So
Sweet.
I've got to go with Blowing in the Wind for many reasons.
All right, Aaron.
Yeah, Blowing in the Wind.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's another sweep.
Okay.
Okay, we sweep.
Versus okay, here we go. Leader of the Band by Don Fogelberg versus Over the Rainbow, Judy Garland.
Google said that those had dulcimers on them.
Yep.
Phil's got to stop trusting AI.
I did a Google search, but it came back with AI results.
Yeah,
and
you
all
do the
the
dash AI at the end, and then that
You
will.
know, this is very reassuring that that AI is not ready to take over
Oh,
yet.
AI.
Let's call them an audible and say that
I'll-
these are
I'll-
songs that are great on the dulcimer. Let's just say that.
Okay. A lot of people do play Over the Rainbow on the dulcimer,
Mhm.
and there are some beautiful dulcimer arrangements of that.
Okay.
I've even taught people how to play that song.
All right.
All right.
Aaron,
Yeah, Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
please.
Yeah.
Okay, another sweep.
hmm
All right, so here we go. Our final four. Lady
Okay.
Jane versus True Colors.
True Color is much more interesting
Okay. Aaron?
Yeah, I got to
from a
agree.
dulcimer standpoint.
Let's
Gotta support Cindy.
It's going to be hard for me to not vote for the Stones. So I'm gonna
Okay.
vote for the Stones.
1-1 or 2-1 because you went.
Mhm. Right.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with Cindy also. She's retiring from music, so there
Aw.
we go. Little throwback.
I'm sure she won't completely stop.
Seems like that's something the Stones will never do, huh?
right. Blowing
They keep pretending.
in the Wind
I
versus
saw
Over
them
the
in
Rainbow.
'88. I thought they were going to be done after that.
Right.
Blowing in the Wind because it's topical. It's timely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, I
Talked
gotta
over
agree
you,
with
Phil. It's
that.
Blowing in the Wind versus what?
Besides,
over the-
I can kind of sing "Blowing
Over
in
the
the Wind."
Rainbow.
I can't sing "Over the Rainbow." That's on my voice,
this
and
is-
I do not have.
This
the
is an
vocal.
interesting matchup, actually.
yeah.
I'm going to go Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Okay.
Okay. So where are we at now?
I'm
think
blowing in the wind.
It's 2 to
Sam's
1.
blowing in
2
the
to 1.
wind.
Blowing in the Wind.
hmm
I'm going to go Blowing in the Wind.
Okay.
Okay.
He just wants you to make decisions.
All right. Here we go. Our final matchup.
Okay.
True Colors versus Blowing in the Wind.
Gotta be True Colors. That's the real dulcimer song.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's you too.
It's also timely.
Mm-hmm. Aaron?
What's that, Sam?
And it's also timely.
Timely,
Yeah.
I'm hanging with Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're throwing it back to me again. I'm going to go with True Colors because, as Sam said, it was a true dulcimer song, and that's what we came here to do, is to celebrate the instrument. So, Cindy,
No problem with any of the decisions here.
Yeah.
All right, this has been fantastic. A very educational
Mm-hmm.
and relaxed and nice conversation. We'd love to have you back. We might see you again coming up in October. I don't know. We might come to that concert. Sam.
Oh, we're coming.
So where can we find your stuff?
So
samthemusicman.com.
That's right. And
that's just not my birthday month. That's my birthday week.
Wow.
So.
And making waves. So this album, it's got wild horses. It covers the spectrum of like rock and popular music, from like Wild Horses and She's Always a Woman, to Call Me by Blondie, if you like Blondie.
All right.
Yeah, we got any Motorhead fans? Ace of Spades is on it.
Oh, awesome.
Lucy in the Sky.
We got about 10 seconds left, Sam.
Bohemian Rhapsody.